Welcome, everyone. Welcome. My name is Lana. Shalom. I welcome you, everyone, to the live sessions on Neurographica, the 7 steps of the algorithm. We have started last week, and today we're going to continue. Okay. Give me a second, as usually. I went live, and I need to readjust my settings so I can see. I can see who is. Okay. I can see if anybody's commenting. Okay. Excellent. We're here. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Great. So, welcome. Like I mentioned, we are in the process of going through all 7 steps of the algorithm. And we are covering today. It will be step number 3. Okay. Okay. Here's our all 7 steps of the algorithm. We are focusing on number 3, the conjoining. Okay. In the previous 2 sessions, we went through step number 1, the goal, the quest, the thematic idea, how to set a goal, and everything else, how to discuss what a goal can be, what do we discuss, what is it about the goal that we need to figure out. Then we discuss how to set the composition. What do you choose? Do you choose with characters, in which case it would be like shapes? Do you choose with the movement, with the motion, in this case it would be like neurolines? Or do we choose with the drama? Do we choose with the catharsis, right? This is what we learn to do. Actually, in the basics course, we learn to do 2 of those, right? The neurolines and the catharsis. The shapes come later, although the main shape, the circle, we utilize in all of our sessions, okay? Hi, Marla. Hi, Lana. So nice to see you, ladies. Welcome. Yeah, so today we are discussing the conjoining, right? The interesting step of the conjoining, okay? Well, let's discuss what is a conjoining. It's an interesting word itself. When I was translating this word, right, from English, from Russian, I'm sorry, I thought quite hard. I was like carefully thinking, how do I translate? Because in Russian, it's the same word actually. And I was thinking, how do you bring this to the English audience so it would catch the meaning? In Russian, it's called сопряжение, where you're connecting things together. And I was thinking, how do I bring this essence of the word, right? Because the rounding is really the explanation of the word. I mean, we all refer to this step as the rounding, but in reality, it's the explanation of the step, okay? I'm gonna go full, I wanna be able to see you guys. I want you to be able to see me also. So it's interesting to note. So I was looking around, I was trying to see, kind of trying to understand the essence. I do want to explain to you that when I translated the book, I started to translate the book. It all happened in 2020, okay? I started in the beginning of 2020 in January, and I finished it in October or November, I believe it was. And it's interesting. I do want to tell you that the book itself, translating that book was a transformational experience by itself. Because as I translated the book, especially when you translate for languages that are so different, I was trying to find a word. As I would look into each word, as I would discover the new meaning behind each word, I would discover, the new understanding of the method itself. It was truly quite an amazing experience. I do want to thank Pavel Piskarev, PhD, Dr. Pavel Piskarev, for giving me such an honor to do so. So that was an amazing, amazing experience. And the word conjoining, I was thinking, how do I bring this word, it's not connection, because that's not exactly what's happening in this, in this process. It's not, second. One second, somebody's writing something to me. It's not connection. It's not, it's not fusion. At one point I thought it's like fusion, but it's not really was fusion. Yes, Shalom, it truly, truly was. I truly enjoyed. At certain points, it was quite challenging. I must say that it was very challenging, because how do I correctly translate? How do I transfer the meaning that the author would put into each word, into each phrase, because you understand half of what was written in the book, maybe even 75%, is something so completely new that it hasn't been invented. Yes, it's Jungian based psychology. Yes, I can look that up, but the ideas, the main, what Pavel did, he took the Jungian ideas. I mean, think about it. That was like 30, 40, 50 years ago when Jung brought those ideas in the 60s and the 70s, and Pavel took them and he kind of developed it further, whatever was missing. I mean, we have other people who did a lot of Jungian work, but I'm just saying in general, Lana, that's excellent. Yeah. But, honestly, if it would be just translating simple stuff, even literature is different. But this was very specific because it was psychology based, because it's a specific lingo. It was so important. I felt so important. Hi, Lana. I felt it was so important for me to transfer the meaning, the energy behind what Pavel created to bring it further. That's why it was so challenging. That's why I wanted to make sure that that I bring it to the right way. Okay. So let me, one more second. I want to share again as I discuss with you the conjoining, right? So you can see the process itself, right? So again, it wasn't connecting. It wasn't really fusion. I thought about fusion, but it's not fusion. It's really a connection. And that's why I chose conjoining. I looked at different possibilities, and conjoining was the word that I felt was the best representative of what we are doing within this process. And that's exactly what happens in this process. We are doing something, okay? What I'm going to do with you today, I am offering you to start the drawing right away, because today is something truly interesting. I feel like it would be the best if I would show you as I would explain to you as I show you, okay? So let me transfer my camera. Okay. Give me a second, as when you stop the sharing, sometimes I have to kind of see how right, I have to rearrange my desktop so I can still see the video. Okay, excellent. Yeah, Marla's the book. Don't know, like I mentioned it last time. In the process, that's all I can say. At this point, the book is up to Pavel. He's working on it. He's figuring things out, because things have to be done. Editing and then publishing has to be done. And I think Pavel is looking for some optimal possibilities to do that. So that's what he's looking for. Okay, let's start discussing what we are doing today. And it's interesting. So conjoining. What is conjoining? It's interesting to look at this process, right? When I teach the basic, this is how I explain it. And I find it to be the most one of the most interesting steps, I remember teaching this in a one of those fairs, you know, like conferences. And I went to teach this, and I was showing them how to do the conjoining, right? I had a big board and everything, and I was showing how to do the conjoining, how to bring, how to connect, right? And when I drew this, afterwards, one of the participants approached me, and he said that his daughter was a neurologist, and he's like, oh, I'll tell her about it. But he said something interesting. He said, it's interesting when you look at this, he said, it looks like, he said something interesting. He said, it looks like brain neurons. And I was like so interested. It was fascinating to me to hear that, because I was like, huh, that's interesting. You know, I kind of, with so many times looking at this image, right? We constantly look at the image of the brain neurons, right? But we never like actually focus on that part, right? We never understand that, yes, it does look like a brain image. I want to show it to you now. Give me a second. One second. Right? Sorry, guys. Sometimes the computer just kind of plays around on its own. So, right, if you look at the brain neurons, look at this. Look how interesting it looks, right? The connection, also quite similar, right? Interesting to know the connection, the way the neurons kind of connected to each other is quite similar, right? They all have that thicker connection that we see over here that's kind of rounded in a way. And that's interesting to notice, because that gives that interesting, a deeper meaning, a deeper understanding into what we are, you know, we're trying to understand, we're trying to explain within this very fascinating topic, right? And again, it's connecting together, right? I like to explain it also like this, right? When we connect, right? It's like two people getting married, right? A husband and a wife, right? There's a wedding and there's mingling of the two families and the guests, of course, right? And slowly but surely, people start like not just living together, right? Usually in our days, in our generation, that can happen even before the wedding. But after the wedding, it's the fusion, it's a connectedness, it's a conjoining of the two families together, right? It's like families actually, you know, before it would be like, you know, yeah, maybe meet my mother, meet my brother, meet my parents, maybe cousins. But the wedding is mingling of all the families together. And after the wedding, they learn how to become conjoined, and they go slowly, slowly, each corner at the time, right? And here's a part of another interesting aspect of the conjoining, right? We call it, what do we call it? Right? The regular term we use is the rounding. Right? So what is the rounding? The rounding is when we add something here that looks like a potential circle, okay? When we do this movement, right, when we add this little, what do you want to call it, right? This little part of the circle, what it really does, if you look at the neuropsychological, you know, from the neuropsychological point of view. Remember when I learned neuropsychology in college, right? I'm a psych major. That was one thing that stuck in me, right? When you look like the arc. Oh, Lana, I like that. That's a nice term to call it, the arc. Yeah. When it's one of those understandings, right? Like if I write this letter. If I write this, what do you see, right? Yeah, I think you can see it. So again, for those of you who are who learned Latin letters, right? You would not tell me it's a series of dots that go up and down and across. You would tell me this is letter A, right? That was one of the most fascinating things I remember that stuck with me from that course. Many few others. I like that course. I was thinking at one point of becoming a neuropsychologist, right? So it's interesting, right? How our dreams do come true, but in a different aspect. But it's interesting to see that, A, B, and C, that our mind will complete whatever we put in the dot, right? Even though it's dots, it's not a full letter. If you ask somebody, if you ask a linguist or somebody who does grammar, they will tell you this is not writing, right? If a child writes that in their test or something, the teacher will not accept this. The concept of the art movement, the pointillism. Oh, that's interesting. There is an art movement like that called pointillism, and that, You know what? It's interesting you said the art, because that's something I'm learning now in the neuroarchitecture. The architecture of reality, it's another name to call it. And art is an important aspect of architecture, as we know. So interesting when you say about the art movement of pointillism, it's probably quite similar to what we're doing in neuroarchitecture, the drawings we do there. Lots of lines, lots of straight lines. It's not like Neurographica, it's different. It's interesting to know that though. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Like I always say, it's learning together, right? I'm learning from you, you're learning from me. So the same thing here happens when we put this arc, right? I like that word. I actually love arcs, right? When we put this arc, what it really does within our mind, how does this harmonize somebody, right? I have people asking me, Lana, what does this happen? Like, even if I put this arc over here, how does this add harmony? What does it do? And this is the interesting explanation, that when you add the arc, what it really does is create this hypothetical completion of the circle within you. And we all know what the circle is, the technique of hatching. Yes, that's exactly what we're learning in neuroarchitecture. That's if something hatching was something we learned in NeuroGraphic. I remember at one point that it's not something you're supposed to do. Everything has to be complete and smooth. So right now we're kind of like relearning to draw differently. Yes, and we learn how to do hatching. We learn what different types of hatching mean. It's absolutely fascinating. And it's interesting to see that when we add this arc, right? This I don't know if it's a loop, it's more like an arc. What we're doing is we're creating within our brain this image of a circle. And as the circle is a symbol of care and comfort and harmony, when we do this 4 times, it's important. I remember when I used to take it in the beginning, Pavel would say, make sure you do this on all 4 sides. And I would think, isn't that automatic? Like, if I do it on one side, I should be doing it on all sides, right? Then when I started teaching, I realized, no, it's not automatic. You have to let people know that you must do it on all 4 sides. So that's another thing about teaching. You ladies are getting ready, and some others who watch us in recording are getting ready to teach this to others. And it's absolutely interesting, absolutely fascinating. I want to tell you that as much as you learn, when you start teaching this, when you start to bring your own explanation, like what you just did, Lana, with an arc, you start discovering this method and internalizing it on a completely different method, different level. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly how in neuropsychology it works. Your brain kind of creates a constant line over here, right? Neuropsychologically speaking. Why? By the way, why? Why did I say only for people who are familiar with Latin, right? Let's say I have students from Dubai who are Arabic speaking, right? Semantic languages, right? For them, by the way, it's different. Although you must know that in Arabic countries, in Semitic, in the Holy Land of Israel, English is the second language. So they really are familiar, and their mind may also do this. But what I'm trying to say is that, let's say with the circle, this is the interesting part. The circle is a universal language. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter what kind of letters you use, You will have circles. If you draw this, any person will look at it and say a circle. Now, let me ask you something else. Ilona, I think you will understand this. What does this whole thing look like? Right? It looks like a butterfly, and it's so symbolic. As I said that, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Because usually, and this is, again, it's so interesting to see mnemonically, to see cognitively how we associate things together subconsciously. I usually, when I explain this, I only draw a circle on one side. I never draw a circle on four sides, right? And as I drew the circle now, I'm like, oh, butterfly, there you go. Reminded me that I'm getting ready for the Butterfly Effect course, which is coming this Sunday. We're having an open session. Everybody welcome to join. Clover, Ilona, there you go. I was thinking about the butterfly because it has a connection with the butterfly effect, which I'm getting ready to use. But Clover is Clover is a bit different, but yeah, excellent. I would say the butterfly is probably around, right? Because usually the top wing is smaller than the bottom. But again, here we're going into a different field because that would be more metaphoric association, right? The metaphoric association pictures. When we look at one picture, we can have different meanings, right? That's something we do during the reflection process. By the way, after the 7 steps, I guess I'm going to do a video on the reflection process where we will start understanding more and more why we need to do with the reflection process during each specific step. What does it bring? How does that contribute to our understanding, to our transformation, okay? But absolutely. You're having the dominant active, absolutely. That's exactly what I was saying, Ilona. Absolutely, because right now, I'm so thinking about the butterfly, and I'm preparing and I'm excited about it that even mentally, subconsciously, I drew kind of a butterfly, even though usually I always do one circle to show everybody, the connection to the neuropsychological, the neural completion of the brain, okay? Now, interesting to note, another thing about the conjoining part, another thing about this step that's very, very important, right? Look what happens if I start drawing with a pen, okay? I start drawing with a pen. First of all, it's a bit faint, okay? It's not as bold as the marker, right? 1 second, let me refresh my Facebook. Sometimes this happens. It kind of starts, yeah. Look what happens when I draw with a pen, right? Besides the fact that it's like not as bold, it's not as outstanding, but look what happens when I start to try to color it in. No matter how many times I will go, it will be like hatching. It will be like filling in, but there's still so much white left in, okay? Which brings us to another aspect of drawing Neurographica for this specific reason, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring it close to you. I have friends, I have colleagues, well, not colleagues, more like students, friends who became students of Neurographica, because, the first thing you do, you always teach to your friends because, so even they love using gel pens. And I allow them because, and it creates beautiful neuro art. It's true. It does create beautiful neuro art. I have friends I have a friend who is a professional artist, she creates beautiful, beautiful neuro pictures. But the fact that when she uses, look, the gel pen is a bit better, right? It's able to fill up a bit more. It has more ink than the regular pen. Nonetheless, if you look up close, it's not as full, it's not as inky as when you use an actual marker, okay? So even if you're using, right, here you go. Even if you are using a felt pen, right? A felt pen markers, I actually love them. I love to draw with felt pens. They feel so soft. Like when you draw with them, it feels really soft, really, you know, the pressure on the hand, on this wrist, right, on the motor, the bones, the connection, the joints, whatever you want to call it biologically, it's so much better, right? Because there is no need to kind of press too hard. The felt really gives you that. It's like standing on a mat when you do stuff in the kitchen, right? When you cook or something. So yes, you can do, you know, I use often, look, this is my pen that I usually use. And yes, when I fill it in, it's much more filling. So the preference for this step is important to bring. It is the marker. It cannot be a pencil. Definitely cannot be a pencil, right? I mean, I showed you the pen. Here is a pencil, look. How do I make it into a pencil? Okay, look. The pencil, first of all, the reason with the pencil is that it can easily be erased. And that kind of creates a different type of, it may not be bad, but it creates a different type of program. You know, what Pavel wants is, Pavel says, you know, create, first of all, also different shades of gray within. But it's interesting to know that it's not the same. Plus the fact that I can easily erase it and redo it, kind of, it's kind of bring hesitations into your work. You know, while we're trying to work with whatever comes is okay, and we are working with that, and we are transforming that. So the felt paints. This one is called Mon Ami Plus Pen. I have blue and black, and you can have them in different colors. It's 3,000, I believe it's 3 millimeters or 5 millimeters. I'm not sure, but it's on Amazon, Mon Ami Plus Pen. And this ones I have, I love them. They're Amazon brand, actually. They're actually Amazon brand. They're beautiful colors. They have them in choice of 12 or 24 colors, I think, something like that. Beautiful colors, an array of colors. I highly suggest you guys that get them. It's very fine penmanship, you know, when I want to draw something fine, you know, there you go. It's truly is beautiful here. I feel like drawing this purple Neuroline. Look, it's soft, it's very soft, and it's very soothing, I must be honest. Okay, so as I did this, we're gonna start. I'm gonna bring you another important point about the conjoining step that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so as you notice in the conjoining step, we have mostly practical, right? It's more practicality that I'm discussing with you, as opposed to psychology. Although we did bring in some psychologists, we discussed, you know, some understanding how it's a fusion, how like a neuron, it looks like a neuron, looks like two families, right? I like that. I think I've said it before too, and you probably heard me if you've been to my courses or sessions. When me and my husband just got married, and we were discussing things, and his cousin was over, and we were saying stuff like, and I said, oh no, it's your relative and something. And he's like, no, that's your relative. And his cousin looked at us. He's like, hello, there's no my relatives, there's no your relatives. It's our relatives now. And that struck with me, right? That was like, yeah, it's mon ami. Mon ami is M-O, let me show you the right. Yes, ladies, it's here. This one, if you're talking about this one, it's mon ami, I at the end, one word. Mon ami is one word, then plus pen. Okay, I have them in blue and black. They have them in an array of colors in boxes, 12 in a box. Yes, get the whole box. It will go through. It loses color very easily. Okay, I have one pen lasting me 1 to 2, maximum 3 drawings. Okay, after the third drawing, like even now, as I'm drawing now, I'm looking, it's a bit faint already. So I feel like I need to change it. So yes, you will change it often. Guys, instructors, future instructors, current instructors who already got the right to teach, guys, get your markers in boxes, okay? In boxes. I should make Ilona, you're gonna be my helper, okay? note for me to start making. I'll make a separate session on the reflection process and a separate session on the tools. What do we need, guys? I buy everything in boxes, okay? Especially my favorite colors, okay? I know I draw a lot with a green marker. I draw a lot with a blue marker, okay? Sharpies is the way to go. Sometimes I go for different brands, okay? Now, the black marker I get from Amazon. Amazon is my black marker. Here, this is the blue marker that I get. Is this better choice? So I'll be honest with you, okay? Let's say I get Sharpies, right? Sharpies was the only option I found for the green and the purple. Okay, at the moment, by the way, things change on Amazon. Like you can go and you're gonna find different brand. Now, I got the blue ones because look, how many did I get? 30 packs. And the price was either the same as Sharpie or probably cheaper. Okay, absolutely, guys. I used to have buy bulk in highlighters. Guess what? I still have like 3 or 4 boxes of different colored highlighters because now I like to use pencils more. If any of you would be in the area, I know some of you like to draw with highlighters. I would probably give you my highlighters. I literally have like 2 or 3 boxes that I took with me when I moved, right? I have like, when I move, I have like boxes, dishes, my mother's dishes, like the family china kind of thing. And you have clothes, by the way, I didn't take that much, I still have some clothes in the box that I'm thinking I'm going to throw away. But guess what took a lot of space? I had like 3 boxes of all my materials. And some of it I said, you know what, I'm just going to order on Amazon because that's the best part about Amazon in the US, especially. You can order and they come, okay? So this marker, this is Shuttle Art, by the way, guys. This company is Shuttle Art, okay? Shuttle Art, exactly as you hear me. It's an American company, although I'm sure they probably also, I think everything is manufactured in China. This is Amazon. Amazon is my go-to for all black markers. Okay, Amazon permanent markers. Now, interesting, brand blue is Shuttle Art, like I said. Interesting to note. Do remind me, I will make a separate session about the tools, the markers. I want to go on now, we can draw. But in general, just want you to understand, okay? What's the difference? One point, I want to tell you that some things were explained to us during the course, right? And some things, it's something you experiment on your own. By the way, you may choose the black marker. I must be honest with you. I remember buying it a year ago and I was happy. After I was using the felt pens, okay? The reason I like this pen, the reason I chose this Mon Ami company is because it was the only option I had for the tips, for the felt tip. I bought these markers on Amazon and I started using them. Ladies, it's, if Rain would be here, she would understand. It's like butter, okay? It's so soft and your hand is like resting, okay, guys? There's no need to press hard. Now, and that's why I wanted, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to buy Sharpie ultra fine markers, which I do, by the way, I have markers left over. Here, I'm going to show you. Okay, I have this markers also, right? Since we are talking about conjoining, let's do the markers, right? This is the Sharpie Ultra Fine. It's harder, okay? It's much harder, and look, I have to throw it away, actually. It's finished, right? It loses color much faster, and it's harder. So as soon as I started using the felt tip markers, I fell in love. Ooh, I don't know, Ilona. I honestly don't know. I would assume it would be regular. Here, I have a highlighter. No, nothing happens to them. I go over them, nothing happens to them. Look. No, it's good markers. And this is what I wanted to tell. So the difference, let's say, right? Because I started looking into it. I'm like, why am I buying this expensive markers? Why can't I use just regular Crayola markers, right? I mean, the ones I have here is thick, right? My kids put my markers, right? They think they're tricking me. They take my markers and they give me theirs. So this is thick, but they sell like regular, not permanent markers, which are thinner and longer, and you can use them, right? I mean, look, this one doesn't write again. Honestly, even for my kids love my markers because that's what I was trying to tell you, that the reason to use, this is also permanent as opposed to regular markers, right? What is the point in them? So the point in them is that they're much more of ink, you know, there's more ink, they're much more concrete, they're much more, what would be the word? I have the word in Russian, much more like intense. There you go. By the way, I love the big company. If we're talking about markers, comparing the big company, I lost my box. You don't understand. I'm buying the big company markers, and it's some kind of magical thing because every time I buy them, I lose them. It's like some kind of what do you call that? The Bermuda Triangle. Okay, here, the big markers are better than the regular, than the Sharpie. I personally like the BIC company more than Sharpie. They're softer. Okay, their markers are softer. Also, I like softer. Okay, so the big intensity, it really does work. It really does. The color is more intense and it lasts longer. Okay, just for you guys to know, this is the ultra fine. Okay, again, there you go, ultra fine. Okay, and again, I enjoy doing the felt, so this ultra fine. And also you can buy the fine intensity markers. Very good company. I personally enjoy it so much. I love big intensity. It's something that I enjoy using. You know, I constantly take it out. So talking about the Amazon brand is much harder. Okay, when I bought it last year, I don't know, maybe I just didn't notice, but this year I bought it and I started to draw, guys. It's so hard. Okay, the tip is not soft. Okay, what else can I show you? Then there is this kind of markers, right? This markers, they have a lot of them now on the market, different companies. The ones I bought, Wise brand, I do recommend. You know, I understand because sometimes when you go, and that happened to me once or twice, I would buy a company and I was not happy with the color, with the intensity. So these markers are nice. I think there's 48. Yeah, it looks like 48. It comes with a pad, with this, you know, with a little bag. They have different companies. You know, originally they used to only have them in the on AliExpress. Now they have them all over Amazon, so you're welcome to buy them. The color is nice. The color is intense. Yeah, different options for different colors. Let's say the color red. Look at this. Look at how many options of pink. Not even red, pink. Look, this pink, many options. I did find, however, right, because I was trying to draw with the brown and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find a brown to draw with. Okay, so the brown only gave me like this option 1, 2, 3. It wasn't like intense brown that I'm looking for, because I'm studying Batzi now, and my color, my financial color, right, my color for money is brown. So I just ended up going online again and ordered a box of Sharpie brown markers, guys. Okay, it's nice and intense. Okay. Okay, it's fine, not ultra fine, but this is what I want to show you. So this markers have 2 ends in them, right? This end with this edge, you see the what do you call the broad, okay? And you can use it to make a thick, like a field line, right? I like using them for field lines, right? And you can use the tip and make a thin line, okay? A fine line. Okay, it's not ultra fine, it's fine or very wide marker, okay? And the second side, this is what I wanted to show you. It's like a paintbrush. It's so nice and soft, yet it creates very, very intense color. Look. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. My kids love to borrow this markers the most, right? They're a lot of fun to draw with. I do want to know that to you. They're great. I want to notice, right? So you can use the broad part to draw the composition. The only issue it may be is because Which course introduced you to the color for money? The BAZI, B-A-Z-I. It's not a course. I will be talking about it. I was thinking either today or Friday, I will talk about it. I will bring it to you in the Neurographica coaching group sessions, okay? Today, I'm going to talk about the mother figure and what it has to do with the money. We're going to do something truly amazing today. I'm going to bring you an amazing meditation. And Friday, I will teach you, I have a link, I will teach you how to go to the BAZI website. You're going to put your birthday into it, and you will see what color. I will give you like a basic, very basic explanation. You will see what color would you be, what color you have for the for money. Okay. You guys took the, I know you took the neuro color, so you know the 5 elements. Okay. BAZI, there is a full 5 elements, which is Wuxing, right? And the 5 elements is a basic understanding about the elements, about how elements work in the universe, in nature, in the society, you know, in the general understanding. BAZI, B-A-Z-I, okay, is the way the elements work for you. It's a horoscope. It's something, if you ever heard of Feng Shui, it has to do with that. It's understanding what elements you were born with, and what are your elements when it comes to creativity, to money, to marriage, right? Choosing the right husband. My daughter is dating a guy now, and she comes to me, she's like, Mom, look it up. And we're like looking up and seeing the compatibility, you know, the compatibility between elements and something else. I'll explain it to you guys, okay? 5 things also. So going back to this color, so you can use the broad side to draw the composition, but it might be a bit complicated because you constantly have to hold it at the tip, you know, otherwise you're going to make a thick one. But for the field lines and the affixing shape, these are the best. Okay, this marker is highly recommend for the fixing shape and the field lines. Anything you have to do with thick lines, this would be the best. Okay, what else do I want to show you? Okay, those of you, I think Marla, were you the one to ask me if you can draw in the A3, right? Those of you who like to draw on big format like posters, one of my students, she was one of my first students, was a specialist. She contacted me, you know, she wrote happy birthday to me yesterday. And she showed me, she was telling me how, you know, that was back in December when I had my first specialist, very special course with Marina. You guys know Marina, she's in the instructor's course now. But it wasn't Marina, it was another lady who was at that cohort. So she showed me, she told me how she loves, you know, her life after she was introduced to Neurographica and she became the specialist. And then she said she was commissioned to draw a huge poster size neuro tree. When people contact her now, when she draws neuro, people contact her now and ask her to draw them a family tree for them, you know, like the tree of life, connecting different generations. And it was absolutely fascinating. She was saying how she loves it, you know. Ilona, are you mad about something? And it was absolutely fascinating. And she showed me the picture and I was absolutely fascinated. So the reason I'm talking about that is, look at these markers. I got these markers, Amazon, guys. Don't remember, oh, here, Art Skills. It's called Art Skills. Those of you who are into, like big posters, this would be the perfect marker for field lines and a fixing shape. So I got this, right? Thinking, yes, I finally got this. And I started drawing, right? I started using it during my Neuro Tree course. Oh, I don't know. It showed here that you marked as a mad, you know, where you choose your emotions, when you choose like and then other emotions, it shows that a mad face or a sad face or something. Anyway, I know when people usually do that, that means like by mistake. I sometimes do that too. But the point is, you shouldn't use it. I cannot say it cannot, but you shouldn't use it on a regular size because look what happens when I draw. I kind of draw on top of the marker, and then it happened with my neurotrees, right? I drew the neurotree. It's okay, Lana, that's what I said. And then I started using this marker thinking I'm going to make this amazing field lines. And the field lines are so thick, they completely overtake the picture, right? The structure of the tree completely was lost. I could only see the field line, and I had to kind of redo that whole tree. I was just finding recently that picture, remembering. But for those of you, again, who are looking for like poster site pictures, you know, that tree or anything else you want to do in your poster site, these markers are markers are amazing. Look at the array of colors, right? 8 colors, not 4, double, and they're really nice and thick and very, very intense. Okay, then I must tell you, I thought they would go on top of the oil pastels. Still didn't go. Okay, look at this beautiful intense color. Okay, again, my kids tested. You know how they have that kid tested, mother approved kind of thing. Yes, my kids tested it. They loved it. It comes out beautifully on the posters. Talking about oil pastels, I'll show you all the oil pastels I have. Okay, these are my oil pastel. They're all Surgeon Art. I enjoy Surgeon Art. I had another brand of oil pastels. I don't use it. It's the cheapest brand on Amazon. It was like $5 or $6 when I bought it. It's still nice. If you want to start introducing yourself to oil pastels, just, I don't remember the brand, but if you go on Amazon, it's the cheapest. It's a nice big box. It has like 48 of them. And it's like $5 or $6. Okay, now fluorescent. I bought this. Rain recommended this to me. She bought it. She loves it. I recommended the metallic Surgeon Art oil pastels. She ended up buying the metallic and this one, and she loves this one more. I bought it. I tried it. I like it. I like the yellow. I like it, but it's not soft enough for me. Another Surgeon Art regular pastels. To me, it was a bit hard. Again, I like softer. You know, I'm a circle person. I like to be softy. So to me, the oil pastels, the oily one, the oil-based one, this color, this specific brand, Surgeon Oil Pastels, yeah. The ones I'm using is the, the metallic. The metallic, I tried all kind of, the metallic, guys, it's so soft. It's really, really soft. I don't know how, because as soon as I tried it, I ended up buying the other Surgeon Art, and I'm not as happy. They're very hard. So I guess something about the metallic markers that add them. I'll tell you, this is my third or fourth box I go through. I use, you saw me guys, whenever I draw a picture, I always go at the end with the oil pastels. The only thing about oil pastels, those who are using them, you know, you can only use them at the very end after you finish adding the field lines and the fixing shape, and make sure you rounded everything. So really, really at the end, right before you do topic 2.0, you know, right before you're ready to write your last topic, you want to complete your picture, because your picture has to look completely harmonious. Okay, you have to look at your picture and say, wow, I love this picture. Okay, your picture have to be completed in order for you to write the topic 2.0. Okay, but again, we'll talk about it. Just wanted to note, we don't have that much time. So one more thing I wanted to bring you, as we're going to draw in our Neurographica coaching course now, but I wanted to bring you, okay, when you guys make a line, let me do the other one. Okay, when you guys go over the line here, I'll do the thick one. Okay, when you go over the line, right, let's say you draw the line, right, you can see that, right, I drew the neural line, right. When I go over, look what happens, right? Especially when you do a catharsis, guys. Remember, when you do a catharsis, because you go so fast, the marker is not so intense, okay? When you do a nucleus, right? I'm going to call it the nucleus, right? Because it looks like that neuron that we discussed, the brain neuron, right? When you do the nucleus in the middle, always make sure you go further out and go over that line so that the intensity is the same on all areas. Because when beginners do that, and I used to do that, and then I learned, right? I went to the intensive and I saw how people draw, and I realized this is what I need to do, right? Whenever you add the rounding, you go over the lines. Otherwise, look how nicely this lines and the nucleus looks, and look how faint the lines look. If you don't do that, then you only, when you look at your picture, you will see the nucleus kind of bold, kind of extracting, and that defeats the purpose of the whole transformational part of the drawing, right? Because remember, the reason we do the rounding is to harmonize. But if you continue seeing this nucleus, it will remind you of the fact that this used to be a angle. This used to be an intersection, an angle, a place when you know, intersection is like, you know, if you like, even the movies, right? They have a movie called Intersection, and it's not a positive thing. Intersecting is like in the business world, when you use the word intersecting, it's not a good thing. It's like somebody's crossing over your road. You know, somebody's on your pathway, you know, and it's not something good. So we're looking for harmony. We're looking to bring that together. Okay. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I'm going to transfer my camera. I want to thank you for joining me today. It was an amazing session. Again, eye-opening. As usually, you know, I am so thankful for you guys joining, because I feel like there's so much, I give and I take so much, and I'm so thankful for that, because, and that's the best kind of learning, where we are learning with each other, right? We are learning through each other, with each other. We are exchanging energy, and it's an amazing, amazing way to do everything, okay? I am thanking you, ladies, for joining me live. I see there's a few more people watching. I am thanking those of you who will be watching this in recording. I appreciate you coming, and it's an honor for me to be this person who brings this beautiful method to you, okay? Yes, I am looking forward to seeing some of you in the next hour. And the rest of you, I will see you on Friday. Okay, I do want to bring something to you guys. Those of you who if you want to, do join my Mac Guards game today. Okay, it's on for today and tomorrow. It's an amazing, amazing topic. This week, I am doing a mommy, hug me mommy kind of program. Okay. Amazing cards, amazing, amazing insights you can bring out. And I will be talking to some of you today about mothers and money, the role of mothers in our money figure, okay, in the way we see money. So looking forward to that, and wishing you a beautiful summer day ahead. Yes, it's September 1st, but technically it's still a summer. Okay, until Labor Day. And talk to you and see you guys on Friday. Goodbye.